Hey, Z, what's happening, babe? Here we go. Good morning, guys. Welcome through. Tap the screen, please, like the live. I love it when people do that. Oh, thank you, Z, honey. I appreciate it. I said, Z, do I want to do, because I'm going to do my news this morning. Hey, baby, what's going on? I'm going to do my news this morning. Should I do my D-Man news? Oh, thank you, Z, honey. I appreciate you. Should I do my D-Man news first or do it? I don't know. I have other stuff to talk about too, but it's like, it's a big portion. It's a big portion of what's happened in the last 24 hours. Every single day. Yesterday was day 8 of this trial. And like, oh my God, can you imagine how many people wanted to be jurors just so they could see the celebrities in person and be that close to them? Like, oh my gosh, I think the whole thing's askew. Like, on a different level, I think the whole thing's askew. Like, like, I'm not saying that he deserves a fair trial, but I don't see how he can get one. Everybody, like, it's supposed to be an impartial jury. So it's supposed to be people that don't know him, have never heard of him, have no preconceived notions of him, haven't, like, that's what it's supposed to be. But I mean, they just kind of settled for people that didn't have preconceived notions. Like, and I'm like, then you have to figure you're going to have people that get threatened. You're going to have people that will want to be on the jury just so they can possibly get bribed. You have other people that go with agendas like, oh, I'm going to punish him for this and da da da. It happens. So I said, I don't understand. Like, I think that they're doing this whole thing just all wrong, but that's my opinion. Like, that's straight up my opinion. If it were up to me, I would 100% show it on TV. That way people aren't carrying all this information through second parties. They could, sit and watch it and hear it themselves and make their own. Like, nowadays, that's what I'm saying too. Did you hear what Cat Williams said, Z? Did you see, there was, and this was like a couple years ago. Cat Williams did an interview where I think he said it was like 4 or 5 times he turned down $60 million. Yeah, because he wanted the back, and Cat said he wouldn't try and give that up. I'm like, listen, I hate to tell you this, y'all, but like $60 million, even 50 million, I cut him a deal, 50 million, yeah. Like, see, that's a lot. I'm just like, I feel like secretly what he's saying is I took $50 million. Like, hey, good morning, Auntie Jack. How are ya? Welcome through, guys. Tap the screen for me, like the live. I love it when people stop by to see me. I said I am dual streaming, so if you hear me talk to somebody and they're not in your chat, don't worry. I'm not losing my marbles. Hi, Kiefer. How are you? Hi, Naveen. Guys, welcome through. Tap the screen, like the live. Uh-oh. Doing great. That's whatever somebody said in there didn't show. After doing great, there was something else in there that didn't show. So this trial's supposed to go on. This is only day 8. I don't know when they're expecting it to be done. Now, I don't know if they're going to be doing it. Have they? Like, I don't know. I don't know if they're supposed to be doing it on the weekends as well. They might want to just hurry up and get it done with, like, while they, like, as soon as they can. So that way it doesn't draw out. So they might just do it every single day. But I'll tell you what, there's been, like, I mean, it's really, like, it's getting, like, messy. Like, you couldn't write a Hollywood script like this. Hello, Kiefer. How are you? You couldn't write a Hollywood script and have it be like this. People would be like, "Oh, that's such bullshit." but yeah, here we are, and it's very, very real, and it's very, very happening, and all that stuff. But yeah, Cat 50, like I said, I cut him a deal, 50 million. Like, I don't even care. I'm just saying, 50 million will buy a lot of Valtrex. I'm just saying that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Like, literally, you could live the whole rest of your life, never work a day, and just invest it and live off your money. You could travel all that. Like, think about that. Just for one encounter, to take that like one account. Like, are we paying per time, or is there gonna? I would have stipulations like, well, tell me what's gonna. But I'm telling you, I don't know that like, everybody's got their price. Everybody's got their price. Mine definitely is like 50 million. Yeah, mine is definitely 50 million. 100% it's 50 million. Like, so, okay, let's see. Yesterday, let's see, Ashton Kutcher testified. He said that, and like I said, this is all secondhand information, so take it with a grain of salt because we can't watch the trial live. we're hearing it from people that were in there who are hearing, or we're hearing it from people that heard it from people that were in there or read the transcripts or all that stuff. And so Ashton Kutcher came forward and said that he can't protect him. Like he was like, I can't, like, and he had said something about like they're looking back into Brittany Murphy, right? Like her demise because she, had a very unusual, like, the D word, I don't like to say nothing, man. I'm like scared to say anything sometimes. But so they're looking back into that. They're looking into like all these mysterious and listen, when I say I don't think it's just him, I 100% don't think it's just him. It's not like he controlled all of Hollywood, but I do believe that there is like this inner circle of people that's what, you know what I mean? Like that's what they do is they test people to see if they're in compliance, how bad they want to be a celebrity, like all this shit. I 100% believe that. I don't think that it was just him. I think that they've kind of set him up to take the fall, if that makes sense. Like I'm not saying that he didn't do anything. I'm saying that there were other people involved and they kind of pushed him out so that way we would get the attention off that, if that makes sense. So you know what I mean? Like, so Jim Carrey also testified, which if you guys remember, like years ago, everybody kept saying like, Jim Carrey went on to, it was like I believe it was the Tonight Show or like Jimmy Fallon or something like that. And he had said, he talked about the Illuminati being in Hollywood, and he talked about how there was like this power circle of people that controlled everything. And then after that, he just didn't work anymore. Like, if you notice, he ain't been in nothing. And he kind of, like, dropped out of Hollywood. Like, well, yeah, that's kind of what they would do is they would expose you, and then they would take all the stuff away. They would take away all your opportunities. They would, or you know what I'm saying? Like, they would blackmail people. So Jim Carrey admitted on the stand, he said he thought it was a very odd scenario, right? And he says that nothing, dirty happened. But there was this one incident when he was first kind of getting to know him before he found out, I guess, about this inner circle of people, which I 100%, like I said, I believe that. Like the people that are rich, they want to keep their money. They're not about, sharing the wealth around. They want to keep their money. So I believe that there is an inner circle whose whole goal it is to earn more money. And if you don't go along with us, we're just going to push you out the way. So, and then people started saying he was nuts. And I mean, it's the same thing like with Anne Heche. You know what I mean? Like she started kind of talking about it, and then everybody, like, she didn't get any more movie roles, like just nothing. And then, and like I said, I believe that there was like this inner circle of people. So Jim Carrey's on the stand yesterday, and he's talking about how this one time he went over to the D-Man's house. Hi, I'm a big fan. Oh, that's awesome. I need lots of fans. I want everybody to be a fan. And so he said when he went in, right, he's like being guided right into this bathroom. And he's like, okay. And he like, and I mean, just imagine this happening. Like, imagine this scenario where like this is happening. So Jim Carrey's getting led into this bathroom, right? And the D-Man is in the tub taking a bubble bath. Okay? He tells Jim Carrey to get in the tub with him. So he was like, he did. He got in the tub with him. He said nothing happened like that, but he just wanted to see if he would do it type shit. And I'm like, just imagine that. Imagine if you had walked in on that shit. Like, can you imagine the look on your face if you'd walked in and the D-Man's in a bubble bath with Jim Carrey? Like, you'd be like, huh. Okay. So that was definitely yesterday was just like it was a whole bunch of people. There are also accusations now about Barack Obama's ties to it all. Like apparently like it was Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey said that he'd gotten in the bath with him. I don't know that they've brought necessarily. I'm sure that Leonardo is going to be called. I'll tell you this much though too, because this is also on my list. They issued an arrest warrant yesterday for Ellen DeGeneres. Apparently they found video proof of her doing something inappropriate. So they've officially issued an arrest warrant for her. And I'm like, what? So, all these people that jumped and ran to other countries real quick, like there's a reason for it. They're like, oh, fuck. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I don't know what was on it. Oh, damn. Yeah. So they're just... either somebody's going to find her in England and have her deported back here so she can stand trial for whatever it is, or like I don't know how they're going to do all this because it's a lot, right? What is it? Tartar? Did I say that right? But it's like it's a lot, and it's a lot of information, and it's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of resources to try all these people, and it's going to. I mean, I just don't know how they're going to do it. Like I said, are they going to do it every single day until it's just done? How long is this trial going to last? Like, oh my God, it's going to be like a 3 fucking year trial. Like, OJ had one charge. You know what I mean? One charge, and look at how long that trial was. What, 9 months? You could have had a baby in that amount of time. Yeah, I mean, this is like multiple counts. There's 120 people that are going after him at this point. There's 120 accusers, which it's a wild number. But you figure over 20 years, there's people predicting she's in the. Well, that's what I was saying is like a couple minutes ago that Jim Carrey got on this show years ago and said that there was like this Illuminati. I don't necessarily I think the word Illuminati, I do believe that there's a power group of people. I don't know that I'd necessarily say like Illuminati. But he's probably going to, I don't think so. I do not think so. Honestly, I think he's going to spend the rest of his, I think it's going to happen like it happened with the other dude where he's in jail and they're magically going to find him unalive. There are people that will come after him just to say that they were the one that took him out. He's being charged with a specific thing. Who is? Hold on. I'm tired, so don't mind me if I don't, he's, like I said, I don't think that he's going to get out. Like, I straight up don't. I think that they're going to use him to be a like, not a role model, but like an example for other people that are, you know what I'm saying? Like, I 100% believe that. I think that they're going to throw the book at him to go, oh, look, we got all the corruption in Hollywood under control because now he's in jail. Cool. I 100% believe that. And then in a few months, they're going to find him either, on a lot, either himself or somebody else is going to have done it and they're going to take the fall. And then it's just going to get swept under the rug. But like I said, if there's other people out there and they don't want him talking, oh yeah, you can get to anybody. You can literally get to anybody. Like there's no, everybody has like especially when they know specifically where you're at and like what your routine is, and there's other people in there that might be in there for like the same kind of crimes that will do stuff for money for their family on the outside. Like I just 100% think that it's something's gonna happen to him. He might not even make it through the rest of the trial, in all honesty. Now, I will tell you all this. I was talking about this the other day. I thought that this was interesting, right? O.J. Simpson's lawyer, like there was, Joe told me this one day, that you remember that big line, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit? They told him, like, because from years of playing football, he had really bad arthritis in his knuckles, right? A couple of days before the trial, they told him, they said, stop taking your medicine, right? Well, guess what happened? His knuckles swelled up when he went to go put the glove on. It didn't fit. I think because if you notice the D-man, he's got like white in his hair and white in his face. I literally think that they colored it in jail. Like straight up, just to make him look like a little bit older, a little bit, oh, this poor guy's so stressed out. Like they do appearances like everything. You know what I'm saying? Appearances everything in court. People do, you know what I mean? And they're like, yeah. Not all that other stuff. Well, not yet. Not yet. Like I said, they're going back and they're looking at every kind of, at least that's what they say. That's what I mean. It's like that might just be enough to put them away that they go, okay, well, we're not going to investigate anything else because it's too time consuming and too much manpower that we don't have. Like, there's other crimes. I get that too. But like I said, I don't think he's ever going to get out of jail. I don't think he's ever going to get out of jail. And I think that even if they find stuff, they're going to go, well, he's in jail for the rest of his life anyway. What does it matter whether or not we go to another trial? So, I mean, they're going back to Tupac and Biggie and, all this stuff. Like, they're going back. They're Anne Heche, Brittany Murphy, like all these people that have had mysterious. And then on top of it, if they find more stuff, because they still haven't necessarily gone through all the tapes yet. They still haven't necessarily gone through all the evidence, which is crazy to me. But it's a lot of information. It's a lot of information, which is why I just wish that they would show it. Just show it. Guys, stop the screen, like the live, please. Just show it on the TV. So that way I don't have to say, well, I seen this person said she was in the court and she said this is what was said and da da da. And I like I don't want the secondhand information. I'd rather say, oh, did you guys watch that trial? Oh yeah, I would literally be glued to my TV right now. I've always thought he was creepy. I never liked his music. They're saying now that they believe that Faith Evans was in on the whole thing with Biggie. Hey Janet, what's going on? And good morning, gorgeous. How are you? But like that's crazy. That's crazy. If that is so sociopathic, if he had something to do with his friend's demise, right? She knew about it, and then they both went on and wrote a song about it and performed it, and like that song was a hideous song. Two, they played the fuck out of that thing, and it was number one. Like if you notice, his whole career picked up a lot after that song got so big. Like, but come on, man. Like, I mean, like that's fucking sociopathic. If that's true, and like I said, I'm trying to. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But there's some big. There's a minister. I can't remember his name. He's like a famous Hollywood minister, and he's been linked to a lot of these circumstances too. I cannot remember for the life of me his name. I'd never heard of him before, so like I kind of went in one ear out the other. But so, like I said, the Obamas apparently were at some of these events. So there's that too. I want to know how Trump wasn't at some of the events. Yeah, I think that was it. I kept wanting to say Jacobs. Like, yeah. But like, I mean, if he was, you know that they'll never go after him for it. But like, a lot of this stuff happened in like the last 20 years. Guess who has been a billionaire in the last 20 years? Yeah, I can't imagine that he wasn't at some of these parties. So I'm just saying there's some distraction happening here. Like there's somebody's throwing him under the bus or pushing something. There's like other things at work here because they want everybody to go, oh look, he's gone. Hollywood got cleaned up. Now we have nothing to worry about. Now we can go back and nothing's going to change. It's just another person's going to step into the role. This is how Suge Knight, like how he ran things. He went to jail for something. Guess what? Somebody stepped in and took over his spot. Like, hung out. Yeah, and I believe that as well. I believe that as well. Like I said, if they had released those files years ago, you might like see a lot of. But like I said, he was in jail. They threw him. You know what I mean? Like he was in jail, and then guess what happened? About 3 months in, they found him unalived. He had apparently had committed the S word, and I'm like, yeah, somebody did that shit. Like, so they're looking back. I mean, just think about the type of manpower. They already have a lot of crime out in LA. They already have. Oh, no, and I know that. Yeah, no, I know that, Jenny. I've said that a lot on here myself. Just because somebody went to a party doesn't mean. But like I said, so I said the Obamas, the Obamas, like, they were there. That doesn't necessarily mean, but now they're saying that there's other ties. They're finding, hey, Pam, good morning, honey, thank you. They're saying that there's something else involved. So I said, just because somebody went to a party, I mean, there were literally like 1,500 people at every party, depending on where it was at. He would do after parties, he would do hotels, he would do this, that. So I'm sure a lot of people have been to his parties. They're naming people that they found specific. Hi, Bendar, what's going on? But, oh yeah, like I said, I try to be objective. Like I try to, you know what I'm saying? Like I try to keep like an objective. So, hey, Patty, good morning, honey, guys, welcome through. So, let's see. Oh, I seen this one yesterday too. Okay. So here's the thing. During this trial, there's going to be like, I have no idea what that means, Bandar. But so there is going to be more victims that come out. You figure there's people that probably had stuff done to them. And imagine how bad this would fuck with you. Like if you had something done to you like that and you didn't even know it happened. Like just imagine. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so they had said, and like I said, everything that I'm getting is like secondhand because they're not actually just showing the court, like the whole process. Like that would be good. Like just show it so that way we can physically see. Like, I mean, I know they can't show everything, but we can at least see the testimony so we can see. You know what I mean? Like people would watch that, like 100%. But so they found a video, right, that has Kylie Jenner on it, and they're not thinking that she was there to. They're thinking that something happened to her. Like they're thinking that there's a video that came around, right? And it was, and they said he actually stood up in court yesterday and like slammed on the table and was like, this is both like, and the judge told him like, dude, you do not run this shit. Like, I hate that. So there's this video that they played in court yesterday, right? He actually was escorted out yesterday. But so there was this video that was played in court, and they didn't say, I don't know if they said who it was or not, but they said there's a female that was holding on to Kylie Jenner's wrist and leading her down a hallway, and they said you could see her visibly, like something wasn't right. But I don't think she ever said, like, but that's what I mean, is she might not remember it. Something could have happened. Paula, what's going on? Something could happen and she don't even remember it. So imagine finding out that something happened to you in that, in that scenario. Like, that's kind of like a big, hey, Paula, how are you, honey? So yeah, yeah. And they found video, and they said while he was being let out of the courtroom, he mention, oh, I'm just hanging out. It's another lovely day on the internet. You've been behaving, Paula. Been watching for 2 weeks. I was scared to type in the chat. From what I've seen, you have a sweetheart. But don't care what you say. You remind me of my grandma. You're an inspiration. I'm 15. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. I mean, like, yeah, I'll take it. Your grandmother sounds cool as fuck. Yeah, your grandmother's fucking cool as fuck. Like, I hope one day to be a really cool grandmother. Yeah, I love it when people come through and watch me. Like I said, I do weird news in the morning, but I want to, like I said, keep up on like normal news and stuff too, because I know there's some people this might be their only way that they're seeing this. Now, I don't think I'm going to be the only way people hear about this trial, but you know what I mean? Like somebody. So while he was being let out of the courtroom, right? They said they were like, they said he was mumbling. And he was like, I fucking told them to wipe it. So this video was supposed to be destroyed. This video was he had ordered it destroyed, and somebody didn't do their job. Somebody did not do their job. So but the actual video was shown in court yesterday. So I would have liked to see her reaction to it. Did she know something happened? Did she not know something happened? Was she just drinking? Like, drinking will make you wobbly. We've all had those nights. Hey, cat, what's going on? We've all had those nights where we've needed a friend to guide us down, like we're out to our car, or, to get a ride home, or our Uber, or whatever, you know what I mean? So I'm curious to know, like, what her, but like I said, she's not going to come out and talk about it in the press. Because if she was victimized, she's not going to want to be, but then on top of it, like I said, that's a lot to deal with if she didn't know something happened. Like, if she didn't know, and then that's how she found out something happened. But like I said, they said that the video, it wasn't just her being led down a hallway. There was other stuff, too. But like I said, I would be literally sitting glued to this TV like this. I'd be getting no work done, no tattooing done, no nothing done. Because I would literally be like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. No. Like, just show this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. They don't want it to turn into a media circus and all that stuff. Guys, do me a favor, tap the screen, like the live, please. Helps me draw more people in. So, oh, God, this one, too. Jamie Foxx also testified yesterday. And for anybody that doesn't remember, hi, Assad, what's going on? For anybody that doesn't remember, a few years ago, Jamie Foxx had a stroke, right? Well, he testified yesterday that he went to, I'm like, this fucked me up, man. He said he went to one of his parties, right? And he gave him a glass of champagne, and he drank it. And he said the next thing you know, he started feeling weird. And Jamie Foxx testified to this. And then he said he can remember, he said, but it lasted about 16 hours. It was on and off. But he R-worded him, Jamie Foxx. And then Jamie Foxx went to the FBI, and he was the one that kind of really like got everybody. But this was he had a stroke somewhere in there, and they really couldn't find like a reason for it. There's certain medications that you can be given that will induce stroke-like symptoms to the point where like there's all sorts of stuff in the world, all sorts of chemical shit. You know what I mean? So yeah, but he testified yesterday that he got R-worded for roughly about 16 hours on and off, like not, you know what I mean? But those parties would last for days upon days upon days. So I'm like, man, this is a lot of, and then on top of it, you think about how many jurors are just going to be starstruck. Just busy, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, that's Jamie Foxx. Oh, I wonder if afterward I could get a picture with him. Oh, you know what I mean? But he said after that, that's why he stopped. All of a sudden, you didn't see Jamie Foxx in anything. Like, he even before he had his stroke, you really didn't see him in much. All of a sudden, They just stopped getting roles. You know, he was really popular there at one point in time. He was really. They're saying stuff about Nelly. Remember the dude from back in the day that used to wear the one band-aid? He was massive at one point in time, and they said people testified that they walked in on. Hi again, hi Kiefer, what's going on? And they had walked in on him and the D-man. I wish they would just let me say his name too. I said every time I do it, I get it like a flag. And no medical report. That's when he went. Like I said, whatever he was giving them, they said that he had a pen and it had like a thing, and he could go like this and just put it in, and you wouldn't even know, right? And so, a lot of these medications would leave people confused for like days. Like I said, Britney Spears got up and testified day before yesterday, and she had the night before the VMAs. He'd given her a glass of champagne. She drank it. And then the next day was supposed to be like her big comeback. She was only going to have one glass of champagne. They said it was for his birthday. Oh, come on, you gotta have one. And then she don't remember nothing. And then the next day is the day, you remember when everybody was like, oh, you know, because she was all disoriented on stage and like tripping, and it was supposed to be her big comeback. And she's like looking around like this. She's still performing, but she looks confused as fuck. So some of these take, like, you have to figure he was there for 16 hours. But then he might just be like, did I dream that? What the fuck just happened? I believe he did go to the hospital afterwards, and that's how the FBI got involved. Like, I 100% believe, like, I believe, but like I said, I don't get to, I wish I could hear firsthand testimony just so I could, you know, relay it back. It's like, everything's like people reading transcripts or somebody, you know, that was in the court. How the chick from Rotten Mango got in the courtroom is beyond me, because they had certain people that they'll allow in, and then that's it. The chick that runs Rotten Mango, which is a big, like, not gossip mag, but she reports on like a lot of different stuff. I like her. I don't know, I like her. She seems very smart, but she's very detail oriented. She will literally pick apart like every little thing. And then if you look at this one, da 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 da, and then if you watch the way he's like, she's very intuitive, but she's also very like, you know, she has like a good like head about her, like she's, you know. So how she got in there is beyond me, because I know Rotten Mango is like a publication, but like, I mean, that'd be like having Perez Hilton in there. You know what I mean? Like kind of along the same lines, like kind of along the same lines. Okay, so his chief of staff yesterday, who's a female, she was his chief of staff for like a very, very, very long time, right? Like his personal assistant, all that stuff. She testified yesterday too that she had been. They're actually looking at her because since she worked, so did she help facilitate some of this stuff? She's come forward as another victim now. So she's somebody else that kind of like just another one to add, another name to add to the list. They've been calling her Mia, but it's not hard to figure out. All you gotta do is type in like who is his. This is my part. This isn't my job. I just live stream for fun. Like if I make something off of it, I'm cool. Let's see. Like I said, everything I earn goes back in my small business. So I said my website's back there. It's edgeoftheeasel.com. I have a lot of stuff up on there. I paint. I'm learning how to tattoo. It's a process, man. I'm gonna get it done. So so yeah, then Bill Cosby testified yesterday too. Imagine that. Imagine that shit. Like I said, like, you know, Bill Cosby's going to jump back because he's going to be like, I wasn't the one that put stuff in their drinks. See? Even if he was, he's going to want to put it off on, like, there's a lot of people that are going to want to throw him under the bus just to, you know, kind of, oh, well, see, I told everybody back in the day I didn't do anything. And they found it's because he gave it to, you know what I mean? Like, Bill Cosby, like, I wouldn't expect him that one to pop up. Like, all right. Okay. Dwayne Johnson. Like I said, I'll go through and I'll get all my court stuff out of the way because yesterday was a really big day, and then I'll go on to other news, like other stuff. But so Dwayne Johnson testified yesterday, right? And this was read from court transcripts, right? Dwayne Johnson got up and said he got invited to a party one night, right? And then he said, you know, I got somewhere, you know, it's a business meeting. How do you make $500K? You're 15 years old and wait, are you the one that said you're 15 years old? Yeah, you're 15 years old and you're making $500K from owning a clothing line? and half of it goes to charity and small businesses. It doesn't really necessarily seem. I believe it's creamed. Yeah. Oh, I absolutely do too, Scalia. I absolutely do. Oh yeah, I absolutely do. I think that I'm not saying he didn't do anything. I'm sure that he did because he was complicit with a lot of this stuff and facilitated a lot of this stuff. But I do believe that there are people that probably have a little bit more to lose than he does, and they're, that's what they do. Honestly, that's what they do. And so I don't trust Hollywood at all. I never have. People have always been like they want to make it like people are like great people, and I'm like, no, those people have done some fucked up things. Like they did some fucked up things. That's how they got there. People want to act like people get this stuff based on talent. So you're 15 and you're making 5K a month on your clothing brand. What's your website? I'll wait. I'll wait. So how did you get a business license at 15 years old? Just curious. Just curious. But so, yeah, so Dwayne Johnson testified. It wasn't anything like that, right? But he said, these people, oh, they want to have a meeting with you. You inherited you inherited your business license from your grandpa? I help him run it. What's the website? I'm going to look up some of your stuff right now. What's your website? So your grandpa owns a clothing line? Hey, Aries, good morning, honey. How are you? But so, Dwayne Johnson, like I said, he got up, he testified. He said that there was another meeting, right? He was already kind of weirded out by the first one, but, they said, hey, it's this retreat with, yeah, but that's what she's saying. She makes $5,000 a month from it. She donates half to charity, donates the other half to small businesses. So if you're working for him, how are you making 5K a month on a small business when you're 15 years old? Like, it seems a little far-fetched, hon. You gotta remember, I own a small business, so I know it's pretty typical for small businesses to earn. And, especially clothing lines, because I have one. Now, like I said, so what's the website? Doesn't even want to cut the grass, right? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, you're right. Right. That's horrible. See, that is horrible. But so, and I said, guys, I am live on TikTok. I'm also live on YouTube. Make sure if you don't have me added on both, add me on both. I like it. But so, he said that there was another meeting. His agent hit him up and said, hey, there's these really prominent businessmen that want to meet you. He said he was blindfolded, put in a car, driven out to somewhere, right? He was led down a hallway. He didn't know where he was. The driver wouldn't speak to him. He goes in and he said there's like 5 guys, right? And then another one with the D-man sitting at this round table. And he's like, okay. And they sit him in a chair, right? And like I said, it wasn't anything dirty. Like, it wasn't anything like nothing dirty. He said nothing dirty happened to him. But they wanted to test him. And that's what they brought him there to do. And he said they told him that they said, we want to test you. They said Hollywood is not about talent. It's about who will be complicit. And this is, like I said, this is his testimony. Like, I actually read it online, like, I was curious, like how did I talk to Dwayne Johnson? He's like this big, you know what I mean? Like how much did his whole go? You know what I mean? Like, and so he said the next thing you know, like I'm a guy. Oh, okay, got you. So how do you make $5,000 a month off your grandfather's clothing line? What's the website? Yeah, I was gonna say I'll go and look it up now. My website's right back there. Check the link. There's no. You didn't send the link. What's the name of the clothing line? I'll go on now and look it up. Yeah, there's no link there. But so yeah. So, but like that's a really. Where's the link? So he said the next thing you know, they brought out, and all I could think of was Indiana Jones, right? Thank you, TJ, honey. I appreciate you. It said I sent it. No, it didn't show through. What's the name of the company? Just tell me the name of the company and I can go on and look it up. because I can also tell by the size of the company what price range. But like that's really weird for somebody to be assisting somebody running a business and making 5K a month at 15 years old. DiMaggio Boss Clothing. It has. It has. Yeah, the guy that owns DiMaggio is literally like 30 years old. So the guy that owns it is your grandfather? How does that work? Because he's literally like 30 years old and like a bodybuilder. Like I'm looking at a picture of him right now. Yeah, I'm sorry. He is, let me see. He's got a total of 47 posts on Instagram. Yeah, he's definitely, he actually looks more like he's in his middle 20s. So that's your grandfather? How about that? Let's see. Yeah, and it looks like even this business looks like a BS business. This looks like it looks like somebody set up a fake page. Like this isn't even a real business. This is somebody that is using fake pictures of somebody else. Like I'm looking at it right now and it's very obviously fake. DM me, ecom, to see how I make money online. You literally just sent me like a scammer to a scammers page. Like, hi Sandy, what's going on? Like this is I'm saying it's all fake pictures. Somebody standing in front of a private jet, somebody standing in front of a Ferrari, like come on. Let's see, total they have, and it's all these lifestyle, total sales, $48,000. Yeah, but see, now I just feel like, dude, you're already bullshitting me. Like, if you're gonna come in, you're cool, you're welcome to be here. Come as you are, because what you're showing me right now is bullshit. And how much you're saying you make is bullshit, and it's really obvious, dude. It's really obvious. There's not one piece of clothing on there, and I've looked at there. It's just a whole bunch of like guys standing in front of a plane. It's a whole bunch of like fake shit. And the dude that runs it, the one that actually, where are you from? I'm from the U.S. Row. We got, yeah, I believe that. I believe that. I believe, got me this. I ignored, let's say. Like the English is all fucked up on it. 5,000 in Nigerian coins. So first you made 500K a month. Now you make $5,000 in Nigerian coins, maybe? Yeah, I mean, well, I was gonna say Nigerian coins. What's the transfer over from? But this is already, it's 100%. It's a scam site. It's not somebody that actually. It's not even an actual clothing line. It's just it's a scammer claiming that he owned. Their YouTube literally has 3,000 followers. So how do you make 5K a month off of 3,000 followers on YouTube? I have almost as much as that, and I don't make $5,000 a month. Just saying. I said I make, yeah, you said you make 5K a month being his assistant. This clothing line is not a real clothing brand. It's not. It's not. What state is your business license registered out of? Bro owns a clothing business that makes steak and rhyme. That's what I'm like. I'm like looking at it, but like he's not even dude, you're not even related to this person. This is a fake site. Everything that's on there is absolutely fake. Everything about this clothing store is 100% scam. And somebody that only has 3,000 followers on YouTube, it's not going to be making money like that to where you make $5,000 a month. Like, come on. Be real, man. Be real. If you're going to come through, be real. I come as I am. Don't put on like fucking, yeah, don't put on airs. Don't lie to me. Don't bullshit me. Just come as you are. Yeah, there's like literally like nothing. There's just like nothing. There's nothing on there. There's no, hey, Laura, hey, Sanford, good morning. Yeah, it's bullshit, dude. Like, just start over. Yeah, you've retracted it. Just start over and just be real with me. I don't care whether you make money or not. I haven't asked you for any money. I haven't, you know what I mean? But, like, don't bullshit me. Like I'm not fucking stupid. And I really don't like it when people try to insult my intelligence, which I'm just gonna say is probably because you're young, that you don't know stuff like, hey, people don't make $5,000 a month being somebody's assistant unless it's somebody that's like Obama's assistant. Yeah. Really, you were very beautiful. Thanks. And like, I'm not trying to be smart. I'm just saying, like, I really don't like it when people lie to me and it's overly like blatant. But this isn't even a real clothing line. Like, so what you gave me was a scammer's clothing line who is not even a good scammer. It's probably you behind these accounts. And I'm telling you right now, the English sucks. First of all, English sucks. There's barely anything about it online. Um, there's no images of any clothing at all on there. It's all these fake pictures of a dude standing in front of a private jet and like the dude standing in front of Ferrari and a dude walking. Like, come on. No clothing line is going to advertise their clothing in front of, like, just standing in regular clothes. Like, it's not even, there's not even a clothing line on it. So imagine that's 100%. Every profile I've just seen for it is fake. It's not a real account. So how do you make $5,000 off of, yeah, AI generate? This isn't even AI. It's just a scam site. It's somebody in Nigeria that, is trying to like make people think. There's literally a link there that says DM me for money making opportunities. Yeah, it's a scammer. Like, that's all it is. It's just a scam. Like, I looked it up. Like I said, I'll give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's not even real. It's not even real. Fucking clothing line. Like, I could go on right now if I wanted to go do it and look up your business license. Back to the laboratory. Yeah, it's full of, yeah. Hi, Jim. What's going on? Yeah, like, dude, you're full of bullshit. I already know that you're full of bullshit. Nobody at 15 years old is making $5,000 off of. And like I said, I'm seeing the picture of the guy that's online, and he's about 25 years old. First, I said 30. He's about 25 years old. So, how does Grandpa get to be 25? Just curious. Just curious. He had you real young. Mm-hmm. Your dad had you real young, like what, like 4 or 5? And he had him at like what, like 4 or 5, considering you're 15? That's interesting. Scams are not sponsored. Pop-ups, right? There's literally a link right there that says DM me ecom to learn. Like, it's like the biggest function shit. Matter of fact, while I'm on it, I'm going to report it for being a scam because it's a fucking scam. Like, it's an Instagram page and that's it. There's an Instagram and a TikTok, but they're both bullshit. That's it. You realize there's no actual website for this company? This isn't an actual real business. Scams are not sponsored by Jim Shoemaker. That's what I'm saying. No business is going to have DM me for ecom. Like, it's fake. How I started it, like, everything is just fucking fake. Everything about it is fucking fake. The guy has a YouTube himself who says that he started the clothing brand when he was 16 years old. So how could your grandfather be, so dude's like about 25, like 25, 26. How does your grandfather end up being 26 and paying you $5,000 a month and don't have a website and don't have any actual pictures of his clothing? And yeah, I mean, like I said, I could literally go on and look up the business license if I wanted to. It's not a valid business. It's not even a business that actually has a website. You know what I mean? He's doing the warp dance. So yeah, he's like, I'm 15 and I'm making 5,000. First he said $500,000 a month, and I was like, and then he said, no, I mistyped. It was 5,000 a month. Your clothing can send me 300. I'll send you 500. And I'm not trying to make fun of him. I'm just saying I really just don't like it when people bullshit me. The scammers and all that stuff, they think that they're so good at lying, and they're not. They're not. They're horrible. It's so easy. Oh God, I get those ones where it's like, are you a SB? You know what that is. I don't want to say it because sometimes it'll flag it. But they're like, yeah, DM me now if you want to pay, like all this stuff. And you're just like, dude, like I could have a legit SD offer. I could have a legit one. And I'd be like, oh, he's just a scammer. You know what I mean? That's wording. So I said, guys, I'm going through my trial coverage. That got me because I already felt like that was bullshit. And then I went and I looked and I'm like, nah, it's even worse. This clothing line was only started, it only put up to YouTube 2 years ago. That did not take a lot of, and there's only 3 things about it online with no website. So he is his own grandpa. Every single clothing brand, the very first thing, because I, like I said, I have one. If you want, you can go check out my website. It's right there. You have to be able to take e-commerce. You know, you have a website set up to take e-commerce, but you want people to DM you for e-commerce, instructions. Like the fuck? How do you have an online store that you're going to teach people how to do it? Never mind. I'm going back to my trial stuff. Like, it's already, I knew it was bullshit. Like when he said he makes $500,000 a month. Like, love the natty look. Okay. Don't know what that means. But so anyway, back to Dwayne Johnson. In the middle of cleaning my house. All right, honey. Bye, Jim. I will see you soon, baby. Hopefully. Let's see. So Dwayne Johnson, he says they take him into this circular room, right? They sit him down. I said, we're talking about the D-Man's trial. Like, that's where I was at, and I totally got distracted. I think he left. But okay, I'm done lying. Good. You shouldn't have started to begin with. Like, you shouldn't have started to begin with. And so he said the next thing you know, they bring out this tray, right, guys? Tap screen like I love it. But so they brought up this silver serving tray, right? And he's like, okay, and it's got the lid on it. Like, all I can think of is Indiana Jones during this part, right? They open up. Guess what they brought him? Just since we're speaking of Indiana Jones. You mad at me for lying? No, I just don't feel like there's really any purpose for you being in here. Like, you really, I would be okay if you didn't stay. Like, nothing personal, but, like, I really just don't want to be around people that make it a point to lie to me about outrageous things and then still stick to it. Like, I really just don't feel like we're going to click because I just don't like people that bullshit. So, and I really don't, it doesn't start off on a good foot when the first, like, thing that comes out of somebody's mouth is just blatant lies. You literally insulted my intelligence, and that's, like, so I have to come back from. But so they pull off this top, right? The silver serving tray, they pull off the top. There's fucking monkey brains. Like, legit monkey brains. And Dwayne Johnson's like sitting there. He's like, what is this? Like, he said he thought it was like a Jello at first or something. They were like, it's brains. Specifically monkey brains. And he was like, you gotta know, Scalia doesn't have an IG or Snap, especially for somebody that's probably a scammer. Yeah, right. I own TikTok. You didn't know. Why would Scalia, when you've come in here and you've done nothing but lie and try to scam, why would they want to give you their Instagram or Snapchat? Because the only page you're going to message or try to message them from is going to be a bullshit page anyway. Said, nah, bro. Right? I'm the president. Didn't you guys know? But yeah, so then he's sitting there and he's like, hey, now I'm showing her the money I got. So, no, I've already seen the Instagram. I've already seen the Instagram. It's a fake Instagram. It's not a real clothing line. Just because you took somebody else's pictures, that does not make you a legitimate business person. I've been on the Instagram. I've been on it. I just went and looked at it. I just went and looked at the YouTube. News, please, right. Yeah, I'm just going to kick him out. I'm like really over him. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that, y'all. Sometimes I get fight with people when I feel like they're trying to make me feel stupid. Yeah. Yeah, you just admitted you lied, and then he went back and it's like, can I DM you like a picture proof of the money I make a month? No. What? What? That doesn't make any sense. You just said you lied. So anyway, but he had to sit there and eat monkey brains, and the D-Man told him, he said, this is to show that you don't have to be talented at all in Hollywood. You just have to be complicit and do what we tell you to do. So he was like, okay, I kind of took it as like a rite of passage. Like, we all had to work so hard to get where we're at. let's make him put in some work. So he was like, I did. He's like, I ate the monkey brains. I'm like, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Once again, for fame and stardom, would you guys eat the monkey brains? He's probably just gonna come back on a different account. I know how this one works. Send you pictures of him holding American money, like, but you're Nigerian, what? All right, let's see. So who's the next one? Woo, man. Ben Affleck also testified yesterday and said that J-Lo, this is why they ended up getting divorced, was that J-Lo was selling young boys to the D-man. Mm-hmm. Yeah. He said that's why they ended up getting a divorce, because he did not, which I can understand why he didn't like that. You know what I mean? Like, that ain't much to, really, I mean, yeah, that would definitely make you look at somebody different. So Ben Affleck is, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he did or he didn't. I know that he did testify that this was going on yesterday. So even if he didn't do it then, for like fear of repercussion or whatever, or fear of ostracizing, or fear of, being shunned by the, whatever the what was, like, at least he can say, well, I got it done now. Like, not that that's great. I'm not saying that that's great. Making people do meaningless things first, yeah. Mossad has a history of making, to see if they obey and do as told, to which they later will use them to proceed. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like they might have had something against him, that they were, like, it. I think that happens. I think it happens more frequently in Hollywood. Hi, gamer, how are you? But I think it happens more frequently in Hollywood. Joe, what's going on? They're all guilty. Yeah, oh yeah, I 100% agree with you, Jay. I feel like listen, even if I was famous, it's one thing for somebody to try to do something to me. That's not okay. But people are reporting that they were at his parties and seen, we'll say, little people, not little people, but children, and that they didn't say anything. I could not. I could not. I would literally be like, I mean, what do you do in that scenario? Because there's all these people there, right? So if you go and you try to break it up, they're all going to stop you, or beat you up, or give you something that'll make you fall asleep, or possibly worse. So it's like, how do you like? But there's no way I could stand by and witness that. Like, I'm a mother. There's no way. Like, so there was a singer who said that she was at one of his parties, and she had come out and she said that's kind of what. Yeah, but see, that's the thing too, though, is in Hollywood, nothing's anonymous. Like, nothing's anonymous in Hollywood. They can always find out who. There was that dude that, Jonathan Oddie, right? He was an adult film star about 10 years ago, came out, and he told them everything. He told the police everything. He said, yeah, I was Diddy's ex-boyfriend. I used to go with him and Cassie, and yeah, he would pay me, and da-da. And this dude was written off as being a nut. So it's like, even if people did report it, now they're also coming out and exposing all the ties that he had with the police, because a lot of times what was happening was people were going to the people that were going to the police, he somehow found out about magically, and then the person would either wind up one way or the other, which, like I said, it's just crazy to me. It's crazy that, it's crazy to me that, well, like, we didn't think that, like, this stuff didn't happen, but it's mafia. Like, people always say, oh, if you work hard, and business ethics, they give business ethic classes in college about how to be a good business person and doing honest business and all this stuff. But the truth is, it's just what you can use against other people to get them to do what. Like, we all knew J-Lo was not a singer. Come on. We all knew J-Lo was not a singer. She's not a very good actress. She played Selena. I thought she did a good job in that. But, like, she is, like, one of, like, the biggest stars. So she's been very much implicated in this. She has very much, like I said, Ben Affleck testified yesterday that she was literally selling boys to him. And I'm like, holy shit. Which, it's funny, because, like, Jaguar Wright had said at one time, she was a singer, and her son was actually unalived by somebody in Jay-Z and Beyonce's camp, she said. And, but it's all connected. And she said that's why she got out of the industry. And she's been very loud about it. One of the witnesses in this trial, her name is Allie Carter. She was actually one of the children that was being held in the tunnel about 10 years ago or so. I believe she was originally Nigerian. And she said, as far back as she can remember them taking her on a boat. And then she was in this tunnel and she had to live down there. When she was finally old enough, she came out and she started speaking about it. She was scheduled to testify. I think she's supposed to be testifying this week. They can't find her. She went on Instagram Live. She's been on TikTok Live. She's literally been telling her story to anybody that will listen, which, I get why she's doing it. I'm surprised that they're letting her talk about it. Maybe she don't care. Like on Instagram Live. Maybe she just don't care. Like, what are you going to do? Sue me? Fucking sue me. Cool. You know what I mean? Like, what are they going to do? It's not like they had their kids sign NDAs. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's absolutely wild to me. And then, but so she's gone missing. She just went missing like this last week where they just can't find her. Yeah, tap the screen, guys, like the live. Her lawyer can't find her. Like, nobody can find her. Just gone. And she actually said on her live, she said a whole bunch of time on her live, she said, if something happens to me or if I just, like, all of a sudden I'm missing, she goes, you guys know exactly who to go to. That was like what she said verbatim. She said it's going to be because of what I'm doing, because of what I'm saying. So I'm sure that there were a lot of people that probably, yes, he had blackmail stuff on him. But there's probably also people that were bribed. There's also people that were threatened. There's also, somebody might say, well, hey, that one time? Yeah, and then on top of it, it's not looking like there's been a crime committed. They're making it look like somebody unalived themselves or that somebody, had pneumonia. There's a weird amount of pneumonia. And they actually found that there are chemicals that you can give somebody. And when it's injected, it shows as pneumonia, which is crazy. Like, it's crazy. So there's been a lot of Hollywood stars that have managed to pass away from pneumonia. And this medicine, it dissipates very quickly. So it kind of is there and then it's not there. And so, like, when is your birthday? I was going to say my birthday's in July. Okay, so let's see. Next one. All right, we're going to move on. Let's see. Is there anything else? This might be it. All right, this might be it. Yeah, that's it. Now we don't have to talk about the trial anymore. All right, moving on. So, next thing, and I said I don't watch the Jenkins. I've been talking about them a lot because they're like a really hot topic and whatnot. Like, a lot of people watch them. Like, she's pretty big and all that stuff. And like I said, people are starting to think that there is some substance use going on. No, I haven't. I haven't been watching I don't even know who Karen, or what is it, Karen Reed? No. But, so they went to court the other day, and him and his two baby mom, one of his kids, one of his older kids, the one that lives with him, Deshaun, right, Cam? Good morning, honey. But, he's one of the older ones. There's one that Drew doesn't see, and he's like 12, and this one's like 10, and he lives in the hotel room with them. And the judge cited that they believe that there is parental alienation going on, which, the judge ordered yesterday, right? Now, the mom hasn't seen her son because she said Drew's been keeping him away from her. I think she'd had some substance use problems, but she's since cleaned herself up and all that stuff, and he's not letting her see her. So he went into court with an active warrant. They didn't arrest him because that's totally a different department. Like, if you go into court with an active warrant, they ain't gonna arrest you right there because they're not gonna run. They're in court for something like else. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, he went into court with an active warrant. They said he had his face out. He was probably scared to death. He went in a hoodie, and they had to tell him, take the hoodie off. Like, take the hoodie off. Yes, thank you. I like the hearts. I like it when people tap the screen. I like it when people like that. But so, the judge ordered literally yesterday, the judge ordered, you guys are not to show him on social media anymore. You guys are not to talk about his mother on social media anymore. You're not to talk about him or anything to do with this case. Guess what this bitch did the exact same day? Just take a guess. Take a guess. Just take a guess. After the court hearing, because he came home and said, well, we can't post him anymore. Guess what she did? She posted a response, like, big thing, long period. All you're doing is giving them more. You think you're talking shit to them, but if a judge tells you you are not allowed to talk about this woman anymore on social media, because it's going to get back to your son, and then that's parental alienation. And she went on Facebook and wrote this big thing explaining the whole situation and all this stuff. And then she posted videos on TikTok yesterday that have him walking by. Like you can see him in the videos, but literally the same day the judge ordered, "I, Baku Polly, how are you?" But so but it was literally the same day that the judge ordered them to stop doing that. And I said, I just think it's crazy. Like when people are like, oh, like let me put my kid on there, and they're like, what do you mean I can't have my kid? I'm like, they can do crazy stuff with AI anymore. Like I said, Miss Shirley's mom's been getting in a lot of shit lately for showing her like online and like allowing people to. She's doing meet and greets where these random men are coming and picking her up and paying to meet her and like all this shit, paying her to do adult parties and nightclub parties and all this stuff. And they're like, dude, she's great. Where am I from? I'm from the U.S. Yeah, I'm from Delaware. How are you? I'm good. How are you? So yeah, that was that one. I've talked about. I've talked about the UK cheese race before on like for anybody that doesn't know, there's this one, it's a traditional hill in England, right? And it is it's incredibly, it's like an incline that's literally like that. So you take 2 steps off and then you tumble the rest of the way. But they have this thing, it's like a traditional race. It's supposed to, I looked it up because I was curious. It used to be the pagan ritual for fertility. So somehow that's still going on today. I want to know how people are going to be fertile when their fucking spine is broke. That's my question, but whatever. Okay. So there was a dude that came all the way from China to UK. And if you win, you only get like the cheese. I love you. Awesome. Like you get the cheese. You don't get like a prize. Like it's not like they're like, 25,000 pounds. Like nothing like that. It's you get the cheese and bragging rights. And a whole bunch of injuries. Like that's it. That's all you get. And so I love you. Awesome. But so, yeah, so he ended up, his video is going viral. I think it happened this week. You know what I mean? But, like, you can go to watch the video. This dude gets fucked up. Hello, Mutt. Good morning. This dude gets fucked up. Like, when I tell you it flung him, I mean, he flung. So his video is kind of getting spread around the internet. Because, yeah, people normally fall. People normally get fucked up. Tell me why that, I mean, when I say he was airborne. Like this dude, he was fucking airborne. What do? You tap the screen. I was going to say, like, let's turn off the dog stuff for today. He's like, come in here so I can boss him around. I'm like, I'm tired. But so, he's like flung around, right? And then they proceed to, can I kiss you? No. No, I don't know where your mouth has been, and I'm not trying to invent a new strain of COVID. Nothing personal. Thank you for following me. What is it, Osborne? Okay. So, but then they proceed to stand this man up, right? They proceed to stand him up and have him walk off the field. Why? What? God, people are getting on my nerves this morning. Hold on. Too much. Yeah, I'm like, dude. Like he said, can I kiss you? I said, no. He said, why? Like, please. I'm so happy that you like people with IQs come through because otherwise I'd just be dealing with dumb shit in my channel. I'm not really very patient. Like I'm just not. I'm like, I'm not feeling the dumb shit today. So that's what happens when I'm tired. I get a little cranky. It happens. Okay. But yeah, like, but then on top, like I said, I just couldn't believe, like, this dude has a possible, like I said, when you see him roll, you can see his back hit the ground at one point, and he flips up in the air, and then his back hits again. And so this dude has a possible spinal injury. And you guys are like, well, let's get him up, and maybe he'll walk it off. Like, okay, cool. Did they even have, I don't even know if they have medical staff on hand at that. They probably should, because people are going to get fucked up. Like, I mean, people get fucked up there all the time. Broken arms, broken clavicles, broken legs, broken, like, everything. Like, I don't want to do, like, just because it's a tradition does not mean I'm going to do it. Like, I wouldn't run with the bulls. Why would I run with the bulls? Fuck that. I enjoy living. I don't give a fuck what tradition it is. I enjoy living. If something could potentially take that away from me, I'm not going to do it. That's it. Some people might want to go jump out of an airplane. I don't. Like I said, you think it's going to be cool to be like a parachute. You're like, hey, I can tell chicks that I'm I'm a parachute jumper instructor. Like that. And so, like, you think it's going to be a cool job. You like to jump out of planes, all that stuff. And then you realize that you wear other people's vomit. You end up wearing other people's urine. I'm sure people have pooed themselves, and you're literally strapped to the back of these people falling down in the sky. Yeah, I heard enough. That's what I'm saying. Like, my bones are bad, whatnot. I'm like, oh, God. Like, I mean, this dude, like, but the fact that they got him to stand up and walk off is the part that really fucked me up. Like, when I say it was one of the more brutal ones that I've seen. Like, I mean, he flung. He flung. Like I said, people will tumble, they'll fall, they're already getting fucked up. Like, why are they still doing this over there? Why are they still doing this? This doesn't make sense. Tap the screen, like the live. I appreciate it, guys. Welcome through. There's a video that's going viral right now. It's from Thailand. Right, the parents said that they were not too far away. Like I said, different cultures, different countries, you know what I mean, like all that stuff. But so they said that okay, there's this little boy who's about 4 years old. The video was taken by a couple of Americans that were on vacation, like over, and I get it, like in this country we think it's about 14 that they can be left by themselves, right? Like around 12, 14, depending on the kids, somewhere in there. Other countries, it might not be like that. They might be like, okay, well, this 4-year-old's cool to stay by himself. Well, so this 4-year-old was sitting outside. He was sitting on a staircase, and the people started videoing him because they're like already concerned. Like, there's no parent around. This is a 4-year-old. Like, they're trying to remember the fact that they're in a different culture, and they don't. But then they see this kid. He's sitting there and he's smoking. He's sitting there and he's smoking, and then so the person went and said, "Where are your parents at?" Da 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 da. They went to the river. So they went down. She ended up taking him. Yeah, she went down. Thank you, Gemini. They ended up taking him. They found the parents, and the parents said, oh, he must have gotten him off of a homeless person, and we don't allow that. But this kid literally looks like he's working like 2 jobs. He's had a long day. The kids are yelling. The way that, like, the video of him doing it, I was like, yeah, this is not a first timer. Like, this is not like a, let me experiment with this shit. Like, okay, so even if you got it, that means that your kid has a lighter in its possession. So where did that come from? Because that probably didn't come from the homeless person. Like, when my dad was younger, I said my dad grew up in the Great Depression, right? He told me that. He's like, yeah, we used to walk along. He was like, him and his brothers, they were real young, but they were like 9. Like, not that that's a lot older. All right, gotta run to work. Bye, Sky. Have a good one, honey. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you. But so my dad used to walk along when he was like 9 with his brothers and whatnot, and that's what they would do is pick butts up off the ground and take the last couple of hits off of it, and all that stuff. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, yuck. Yuck. There's really like a habit you don't need to take up during the Great Depression. Smoking's probably one of them. Just saying. Okay, so let's see. Do you guys see the video going around? There is a girl who, bless her heart for wanting to sing, right? There was a 2-hour plane ride to Orlando, right? And I've seen this video posted a whole bunch. I've seen people like responding to this video. It's a whole bunch. If you haven't seen it, go on and watch it and see how much you could sit through this. So this little girl's talking to one of the flight attendants. She's like, I'm a singer. And she's like, oh, you are? Why don't you come up and sing us a song over the loudspeaker? They had a delay, so they're literally just up there. People are already going to be cranky. They're already going to be irritated because they know that they were supposed to be in at a certain time. The plane has to be cleared to land. It's not. So they're just literally circling Orlando Airport, waiting for their turn to land at this point, right? Circling. They know that it's delayed. They know that, like, all this stuff. This chick gets up and proceeds to sing for 45 minutes. She's about 8 to 9 years old, just judging by what I saw. But she sang for 45 minutes. So there's all these videos of people on the plane like, dude, it was cute in like the first 2 minutes. It was cute. Good for her. She's a singer. But like, I'm not going to hate on her. Good for her for getting up and doing it. But she got up there and it wasn't great singing. It wasn't, she's not like a prodigy. I'm not trying to down her. Good for her that she's brave enough to do that. I know I'm not. But literally 45 minutes. So you're going to have this kid get up and do this for 45 minutes in front of like, how many is on a traditional plane? Like, what is it? Like 70 people? Like, they ain't gonna say nothing, but there's so many videos of like going around. Thank you, amazing. I appreciate you. But so like there's so many videos of people going around and they're like showing themselves sitting there and they're like, dude, this has been going on for 45 minutes. Eat spaghetti? Okay. Not right now though. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, I'd be a little. It was only supposed to be a 2-hour flight. Jules, good morning. But it ended up, Jonah, how are you, baby? Welcome through. But so yeah, it was only supposed to be like a 2-hour flight. It got like, hi, what's going on? Amazing. How are you? Okay. They're also saying too, I seen this one posted a lot too yesterday. If you happen to stay at Airbnb, there's actually these little things that you can buy because there's been a whole bunch of Airbnbs that, like, you know, when you stay in an Airbnb, right? It occurred to me, I went down to Playlist, right? And I said I was down in Florida and I stayed at Airbnb. And I wasn't even really thinking about it. Like, I didn't do anything down there. It's not like I was like, oh, let me do it in somebody's pool. You know, like, that wasn't even an option. I was like there, like, by myself. You know? But, like, you know, I wouldn't have thought, like I said, I was, like, there by myself. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like, that wasn't even an option. But what if I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I'm a sunbathe. So, well, anyway, so I have my bathing suit on, of course. And I'm sitting in the hot tub, right? I'm not really paying attention. And then like a couple days later, I'm sitting there and I'm like, I bet that thing's a camera. It was a black globe, right? And I'm like, okay, that's where I would assume people want to protect their stuff. It's for security reasons. It's for, you know, all this different stuff. I get it, right? But now they're saying that a lot of Airbnbs are having, they're finding secret cameras in them. Like there's these people that are going around and they're actually taking one of these little wands just to say there's like books that look like they're there for decoration and there's little but you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know unless you had this thing going dee 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 dee. You know what I mean? Like, so they're saying just be careful when the next time you stay at Airbnb. Like these people found one. I believe it was in the vase, like in one of the flowers. I would have never known it was a camera. I would have never known. And the people didn't know. It was in the bathroom and it was pointed to the shower. So I'm just like, not that I would really care. I'd be like, okay, like, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't embarrassed. Like, if you start making money, I want to get a cut. You know what I mean? But like, I can't imagine anybody be like, yeah, that's hot. I'm like going to be 45 in July. Like, where it was sitting, you probably couldn't see anything anyway because everything's migrated. You know what I mean? Everything flew south for the winter and forgot to fly back up in summertime. So yeah, they're just saying make sure you really, like, next time you stay at an Airbnb, just to be safe, like, double check. Like, what does that mean, Honora? Oh, they're also talking about there might be a possible new strain of COVID out. So they're saying be careful, which, you know, is exactly, you know, out of all the gifts I was hoping for this year, a new strain of COVID. I hate COVID. I've only had COVID the one time. And it was horrendous. I didn't feel bad for like the first week. I noticed all of a sudden I couldn't taste anything. And I said, this was at the ass end of it. Like, really, like, you know, the ass end of, yeah, I've only had it the one time. And I said, I just realized one day, like, I can't taste anything. And I'm like, all right, don't be paranoid. You just, like, maybe, like, there's really no reason you can't not taste stuff. I felt it in my spine. Like, but so I didn't feel bad for like the first week of it. And then like I kind of started feeling weird because I said I have epilepsy and I wasn't diagnosed at that time. So it was like a weird feeling. Like I felt like I was trapped in a jar. Like, I don't know if that's what they talk about when they say the auras with epilepsy, but like COVID has definitely made people like it's a big trigger for people with epilepsy is getting COVID. So. And that's when I really started having seizures pretty regular, and that's how I found out I was fucking epileptic, like my dad and my son. You know what I mean? Like, and it fucking sucks. But you know, like I said, most of the time, like, but I didn't feel bad for like the first week of it. Like, I just felt weird, but I wouldn't say like bad. I would just say I felt weird. You know, and good morning, guys. By the way, welcome through. Tap the screen, like the likes, please. I appreciate it. I like it when people stop by to see me. Also, too, make sure you follow my social media. I have a ton of social media. Thank you guys for even taking the time to come in and see me today. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, so I was talking yesterday. That nurse, right? they've officially, like, she's gonna lose her license. Like, hey, hey Wayne, what's going on? By the way, if you're new, you're more than welcome to come and chit chat with me. Like I said, I do dual streams, so if you hear me talking to something that's not in your chat, it's just the other one. Um, so yeah, the nurse who she did a med pass. Austin, what's going on? The nurse that did the med pass on live, and it was just funny. She was like, y'all are so extra. Y'all always go too hard on this. Y'all always like da 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 da. Y'all always this. Well, guess what? She lost her job. She's gonna lose her license. They actually suspended it for right now until they can get. But there were over 55 people that called into the nursing board. She's lucky that that was all. Like, she's like, I didn't expect it to go viral. And people are like, what made you think this? You just took all that time going through school. What did she do? She was on live stream. She was on TikTok Live. And she was doing a med pass. So she's standing at her station and she's counting pills, right? And she goes and she's like, because that, that's a big thing with HIPAA. Like, she's like, nah, nobody's name is getting shown. Like, stop. Y'all do too much. Y'all do too much. And that's what she keeps saying. Y'all do too much. Why you guys always do? I got to do so much. Like, y'all do too much. And people are like, dude, like, I'm a nurse. Like, that's what people were saying in chat. They're like, dude, are you trying to lose your license? Like, what the fuck? Oh, I'm not showing anybody's name. Then she proceeds to stand there and rips open a lidocaine patch, right, with her teeth. Which is all, they ain't gonna be very happy about that too. And then other nurses don't realize she's on live. So they're coming up and they're asking her, hey, Mr. Jones, that's over in room 4, have you gone and given him his nighttime dose yet? Okay, you haven't? Okay, well, here, I'll take it to him. Which, once again, even if she's not specifically, but she did say people's names, and I sat and watched it. There was also another nurse that just did this the other day. Like, a different one. A different one. Like, people are like, so you went through all that schooling. They talk a lot about HIPAA when you're in school. Like I said, I never even made it fully through nursing school, and I can tell you that's a big thing. Like, all it takes is somebody seeing one little label. That's why they don't even like it when people film at doctor's offices, because it's a violation of HIPAA. That's hectic, yeah. And and like I said, people are literally sitting in the chat telling her, are you trying to lose your license? Like, what the fuck are you doing on live while you're working as a nurse, especially when you're doing a med pass? Because med pass is when they like, yeah, exactly, like no cameras for patients' privacy, right? Like the hospitals are very, very big about that. The hospitals, doctors' offices, that is. But I said she was saying people's names. She just didn't realize it. Like I said, the other nurses didn't know she was. I don't know why she thought this was a good idea. Even if you work for Amazon, right? I've seen people get fired from Amazon, right? For putting their live up while they're working, right? Even though you're not really seeing anything, you're just seeing people working at Amazon. But all it takes is somebody to screenshot and zoom in, and then somebody's name could be seen on a box and their address and like information. Like, I've seen people, like, they don't want people doing, but especially when you're doing a med pass, because you're sitting and counting out everybody's nighttime dose, which means you need to be kind of focused on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You need to be focused on what you're doing, because if you give somebody the wrong thing, it could definitely hurt them. So, but then to stand there and rip open a lidocaine patch with your teeth, like, and now she's going on. The best thing she can do right now is shut the fuck up. Guess what the one thing she's not doing is shutting the fuck up. What does she keep doing? She keeps making videos explaining how sorry she is. From a legal standpoint, like they always tell you, if you're in a car accident, don't run up to the other person and go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Because what that does is it insinuates guilt. It insinuates that you did something wrong. Like that can be actually used against you in court. This chick makes a video, I'm sorry for what I did. I regret it, da, da, da. And I'm like, so let's hope that institution doesn't decide to sue you too, huh? Because they might. They very well could. And guess what? Just from every time you go on live and you talk about it more and more, like you think people are going to leave you alone, they're not. They're not going to leave you alone just because you go on and apologize for it, just because you say, I realized what I did was wrong. Here, she was like a mother. She'd taken all this time going through school, like all this shit, and now she's all upset. Now you're only upset because you got caught and you get ready to lose your license. That's why you're upset. Not because, like, but like I said, she's definitely, oh yeah, they suspended it. So far, they officially suspended her license. But yeah, she's going to lose that shit. She's going to lose that shit. But then you bring that up in a court, like if that institution decides they want to sue her for a violation of the HIPAA Act, They can. And then guess what they have? Video evidence of you when it's happening, people going, you're going to lose your license. No, I'm not. And she was really being sassy with people. Y'all be doing too much. That's what she kept saying. You guys do too much. Like, you guys always got to be so extra. You guys, and I'm like, so wait, is this, my question is, was it the first time she did that? Because there's other nurses, there's other people that work in medical offices, like all 100%. And like I said, you can see people in the chat saying, are you trying to lose your license? I'm not going to lose my license. Well, guess what? Guess what? If she just lost her job, that would have been the better part of it. But I knew it as soon as I seen it, because like I said, they are very, very strict about that. They make you sign paperwork at the beginning of any time you work for a medical establishment that says you will not go on. Like, they're very cautious about even what, if you go on social media and talk poorly about your job. There's a lot of places that'll fire you for that. But you go on and you're doing a med pass as a nurse. So pretty much what you did was wasted that 4 years of schooling because you didn't listen to like the first day. And I said I've been through a big portion of nursing school, and it's like they're really, really big on that. Now, when I went through, social media wasn't as huge as it was, but like they were like, yo, like they tell you if you see a patient outside, you have to wait. Like, I'm weird because I said I worked in an adult toy store for like 7 years, right? Videoing isn't always good, I guess. No, definitely not. But so, I'll see people from the toy shop, and I know a lot of nurses, and that's what I mean is they definitely shouldn't be. Then now there's certain, like, it depends too. The hospitals are a lot more stricter with it, like a lot more stricter with it. But like hospitals also have like big time lawyers too. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, so anyway, she got her license. But I'm like, man, like, that was just stupid. Like, a big part of nursing is critical thinking and being able to do so. And that, like, but she just didn't listen to, like, the first day. She was like, ah. Like, and they tell you that repeatedly through school. Like, repeatedly. They don't want you walking up to patients outside of, like, traditional institutions. Like I said, hospitals are very, very big. Each individual doctor's office might be, but they don't want, doctor's offices, they don't want people live streaming in there. Like, even if they're just waiting to be seen because somebody else could be seen in the background, it's a violation of HIPAA. It's a whole privacy thing. They don't want people, hey, this person was at this doctor this day getting this done, you know what I mean? They don't want people filming, typically, like, just because, like I said, it's a violation of patient's privacy. But so, like, a lot of times they don't want the nurses, if, like, say somebody's in the hospital and they know them from being in the hospital, they don't want, it's one thing if you go up and you talk, hey, I know you, you were my nurse. It's another thing to walk up, because what you're doing even there is just violating HIPAA, because you're saying you were treated in the hospital and I was the one that did it during this time. Like I said, it's different. They're not, more than likely, they wouldn't enforce that even if it got back to them, because they'd be like, well, it didn't happen on property. There's no video of it. There's no, the patient confidentiality is a big thing. And like I said, even though this chick just got in trouble, there was another nurse who went on yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was like within the last couple days. And people were like, why are they doing this? Like I said, I've been through nursing school. I'm sure it hasn't changed that much. If anything, because of social media, they've gotten more into telling people, like, don't do this shit. Like, do not do this shit. It is not worth, like, risking your license over. It is not worth it. Don't do it. You know what I mean? So I can only imagine. But so even, like, working at the adult toy store, it's not like I didn't sign anything. There's no HIPAA Act protecting, like, toy shop workers or anything. But if I was out of BJ's the one day, right? Ironically enough, I was out of BJ's with my daughter. And, this guy came walking up to me, and he was one of my customers from the store. He's like, hey, Ray, how you doing? I'm like, hey, what's going on? But 98% of the time, if I see somebody when I'm out, like, I think I'm pretty recognizable. Like, it's kind of hard to miss me. And but I'll see other people, and I won't say anything until they come up and say hi to me first, because you never know who was coming in, and maybe somebody else didn't know that like they might have been coming in with their girlfriend and they're married. They might have been, what do you mean you know her from the toy shop? What toy shop? Oh, shit. You know what I mean? Like, I'll wait for, like I said, if people are comfortable coming up to me and saying hi to me, cool. I'll gladly stand back and talk with them, but I try to not even like approach people that I know from the store unless I feel like they're gonna, you know what I mean? Like they're, hey girl, oh hey, what's going on? You know. So I said it's definitely happened where I've seen people out from the store. I've seen there were people that used to go to church with me when I was younger that I was working in the toy shop and they'd come walking in the door. We would literally have people on Sundays. I worked a lot of Sundays where people would literally go to church and stop at the adult toy store on their way home. Like straight up. Like I would have people coming in there on Sundays in their Sunday best. Hey man, how's your day going? I just got done at church. I'm good. You know, just gonna Gunner, what's happening? But like, yeah, they would literally go to church and then they would stop by the adult toy store. Yeah, that's what we were actually. We've got these in at one point in time, right? They were crucifix, and they were multi-purpose. And we had them in there and we were like, but I mean it was big, we had a big sense of humor with it. Like we were like, I actually wanted to do an adult Easter egg hunt where I would hide little Easter eggs all over the store and people could pull it, hey, I found an Easter egg. Didn't get like a, but yeah, people come in on Mother's Day, Father's Day, like Christmas Eve. Like I mean there's never a day when people aren't scrumping, for lack of a better word. Not lack, but just for keeping my account scrumping. But yeah, so I said I've literally had people, I've had family members that came in that didn't know that I worked there, and like the look on people's faces when they would see me and be like, oh shit. Like the way that the store was set up, you had to walk through the front door, there was a front part, and then you walk through the back door and there was a back part. There was like others, like lingerie up the front. At first we sold t-shirts and shit like that up there. Then we got rid of all that and started doing like outfits and whatnot, and the plus size outfits were in the back, and you know, all that jazz. And so like it ended up I had one of the girls, like I said, she was already in the store by the time she seen me, like in the back part, and I was like, hey, what's up girl? Like I had my middle school teacher came through, the guy that I was like in love with when I was 12 years old. Yeah, what's happening? Yeah, I mean, like I said, I had my middle school teacher come in. Hi Alex, how are you? And I was like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, nothing. I knew exactly who he was. He didn't look a bit different, not since I was in 6th grade, right? And I said, this was the first guy. I was probably 12. I was like, oh, I have such a crush on him. Oh, God, like, I'm going to marry him, and we're going to have a white picket fence. I was 12. Don't. Yeah, I just like the fact that he was so nice, right? And he's like, hey, girl, what's going on? And I'm like, he remembered me and everything. I'm like, okay. And then he's standing there, he's talking to me. He's like, well, da, 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 da. And then he said, hey, I'm here to find some movies for me and my new husband. And I said, all right, let's go pick out some movies. And we walked back and I helped him pick out movies. But I told him too, I was like, listen, when I was younger, I had such a crush on you because you were always just so nice and you were fun. And he was like the drama teacher and whatnot. And he's like, oh, girl. He's like, you ain't even got the parts I like. And I'm like, I'm not saying that I am or that I still feel that way. I haven't been like holding a candle for all these years, but it's literally been like 20 years since I've seen this man. And you got to remember, I'm from a small area too. I'm from a small area. So I'll be out and about and I'll see people looking at me like this. And I'm like, like I said, even if I don't remember somebody, I'm not like, why is this dude? I'm like, oh, they probably remember me from the toy shop. I worked in there for a long time. Like I said, I booked a lot of shows before that. Like I know pretty much everybody in Delaware at this point. Like, okay, so they were talking about the Jenkins destroying their hotel room. There's 7 fucking people living in there. Like, and I said the Jenkins, because they're my next topic. People have been watching what they're doing, and they're kind of seeing like some rug use type. I say rugs. I wish they would just let you talk normal. Like, so they're starting to think that they're kind of doing something else, because they said like there's a lot of people that are in recovery now for a word that sounds like math, and and they're like, dude, I can remember, like, there's a lot of women that are making videos now, and they're going, I can remember back when I was in addiction, I would do really weird things. Like, I'd be outside scrubbing, like, my siding with, like, a toothbrush. And, like, she's doing kind of weird stuff like that. Like, she made a video the one day of her cleaning, and she's literally scrubbing the wheels on the bassinet. They're staying in a hotel room. What are you cleaning? Like, you realize that that's like a petri dish, like already? Then you put 7 people in it. I can understand why somebody would maybe want to be a little extra clean. But when somebody is like going, then there's other videos of her, right, where she's outside and the kids are playing in the background and she's literally standing on like a rock outside. I love your smile. Oh, thank you. But so she's standing on a rock and she's sweeping the rock that's outside. And they're like, the fuck? So rather than you playing with your kids, you're sweeping a rock that's out front? It ain't even in your room. The fuck? Like, but she's making all these videos. She's steam cleaning all the kids' pillows, but then puts like the pillowcases right back on them. Well, when you wet something, you have to put it out to dry for a bit. It's not like, and they're like, dude, you realize this is gonna make mold happen. I've cleaned my pillows before. I've put them through the washer. I've put them through the dryer. I've put them through, yeah, I've steam cleaned them, all that stuff. Small area, yeah. That's, I mean, I just imagine like, regardless of how clean you keep it, you put 7 people in one room, there's gonna be natural smells. Like, that room's gonna smell like shit. Like, just straight up. It's gotta smell like shit. They got, like, 2 really, really small kids living in there. Like, she just had a baby not that long ago. And then I'll tell you this, too. Her mom started coming out on TikTok making videos about what's going on because Stephanie and Drew, they've talked really bad about her mother, too. Right? Her mom came out, and because apparently Stephanie's still married. And I said, guys, I do the weird pink or blue. Pink or blue what? Pink or blue what? You gotta be more specific. I would say pink, but depending on, I like blue too. But so yeah, her mom came out and was like, listen, like, and she's kind of like spilling everything. Like, the mom came out, she's been doing interviews online and everything. She's like, yeah, she's like, my daughter tends to go for people, and she looks just like her mom. I've seen her mom, and I was like, oh shit, like, you know, that's definitely her mom. But and she said, you know, she's always been like this. She'll get into these guys that are really abusive, and then she'll, you know, love you, awesome. What does uwu mean? Is that just a thing people say? I'm curious. I don't know what that means, but I hear people say it though. But so her mom spoke out, and here's the thing: is she's still married. So she's not even technically a Jenkins. Because she's still married to her ex-husband. And so Stephanie comes out and she says, you know, like, or Stephanie's mom comes out and she says, what really pissed me off was her husband. She said, I didn't realize this. She said, my sons, Stephanie's younger brothers, were 7 to 8 years old. She's like, let's just put it this way. He's on a type of registry that isn't from Babies R Us. And she knew this. And no, I'm good on all that. I'm good on all that, Renee. Yeah, I'm good on all that. But and so yeah, so she married somebody that was on the registry, brought this person around there, and then proceeded to stand behind her man and support him. And she had 2 young daughters. It's crazy, right? Like, it's crazy. So she's kind of spilling. She's like, they said it was because I missed one of the Jimmy Turner what does that mean, Jimmy? I don't know what that means. Oh yeah, then there's this other video that I seen go viral, right? Like, do I want to be my friend? Sure, why not? I like friends. But so there was I was gonna say, Renee, how old are you? I think that's how you say your name. But so there's this video that's going viral, and it's of like a probably like 2 or 3 years old, like not super old, right? Went to an art class. And I said, I teach art classes. I would be really, really like pissed off if somebody did this. I'm telling you that right now. So, you know, they give the kids time. They're helping the other kids. Well, her kid in specific doesn't want, and she videos this. It's her video that's going viral right now. She doesn't want, like, her child doesn't want to paint on the paper, on the canvas that's been provided. So, guess what? Decides he's going to paint the chair. And the mom sat there and videoed it. And I'm like, either way, that means that business. Yeah, I guarantee you that mom ain't going to clean it off. It ain't like getting a little speck. Like, this kid sat there and literally painted the whole chair. And it's not like the teachers can physically stop him. But, like, why? Like, so people are like, why are you sitting there just watching? Why wouldn't you tell him, no, it's on here. Do this on here. And she was like, he was creating. And I'm like, watch, I guarantee you that's like when... I was always that person when my kids were little that if we went into a restaurant and they made a big mess, I've always been like, I will go around and pick the floor up. I'll say, hey, listen, get me the broom and the dustpan and I'll clean up, and I will do it. I don't want to make extra work for people. You know what I mean? Aya? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, how old are you, out of curiosity? Let's see. So yeah, but that's what people are so mad about, is that this mom literally just sat there and watched this kid do this and didn't say anything about it. Here's another one. Oh god, this one is a riot. There's a video going viral right now. You know the show Hoarders? There is an episode of Hoarders. It's an older gentleman, right? And it's supposed to be coming out soon, but like clips of it have kind of surfaced. They've already surfaced on the internet, like the previews. This person, right? Um, Thank you, Shadow Streams. I appreciate you. Put a follow back on you. Dun, dun, dun. I like that. There we go. Gotcha. But so there's there's this episode of Hoarders, right? Where you are never gonna, like, you probably won't guess, but guess what this dude hoards a lot of? I'm 92. You're 92 years old. Did I type that wrong? But so yeah, but so he didn't tell his family that he is into cross dressing. So they came in, and he has this mess. He has this hoarded mess that, like, you know, most of the hoard. I love it when they start freaking out. Don't turn that out. I was gonna give it, and they're like, but it's a broken picture frame, and they're like, I can't fix it. Like, dude, my mom was a borderline hoarder, straight up. Like, I mean, that's how she was, a borderline hoarder. Like, we didn't have shit all over the floor, but she collected stuff and she did crafts, and there was always something. Hey, I'll get this now because somebody could use it down the line. Like I said, my mom and my dad grew up in the Great Depression, so during that time, you did not throw shit away. Because just because you can't use it today doesn't mean you'll never be able to use it. That was the mentality of it. So, and I get that. But then you have some people that get really, really bad with it, and when they spot, it's like the one thing they feel like they can control is the clutter in like the clutter in their house. They can control what comes in and what goes out. And like I said, there's, you know, all sorts of psychological reasons behind it, but I don't feel like a 3-day clean out, it might help the immediate situation, but it definitely doesn't treat it, like, at all. But, like, if I came over and cleaned, my mom would go outside and go through the trash to see what I threw out, to make sure I didn't throw out anything good. And I'm like, if it's in the trash, that means it was something, just live in denial and just leave it there. She's like, well, I gotta make sure, you know, it wasn't something. And then she'd be like, Renee, I paid money for this. Yeah, you did. Like 20 years ago. You realize I had a dollhouse? You remember those old collectible dollhouses that were like the wooden ones that were like this big, and you didn't actually really play with them like a Barbie house. You would just like have little furniture and little tiny picture frames and shit. Like, she had started building me one of those, and it literally sat in the basement in the back room on a pool table for about, well, it was there when we sold the house. It was there when we sold the house. So she started working on that probably, I would say it was maybe 10, and she passed away when I was 28. I have the same red and black hair as you do, want to be twins. You're 92 and you have red and black hair. It's interesting. But yeah, so they're calling this the most awkward episode of Hoarders ever, because most of what he hoarded, and here's the thing, is his family came over to help clean out. So his family, like, they're pulling out all this shit and it's just blurred. It wasn't also that, this is how he let his family know, I guess, that he cross-dressed, but the thing is, they're pulling out stuff that's very, very large. Like, they're like, oh, we got another one, and you just see this blur that's like this big. Like, why wouldn't you keep that stuff before your family comes? I have, in the event of my death, right, of my demise, if it ever happens, and this is like straight up, I told my daughter this, I said, listen, I got a bag in my closet that's got a zipper on top of it. It's over to the right. Do not go through that. If something happens to me and you're cleaning out my house, take that, walk it right outside, put it in the trash can. She's like, I got you. I'm like, cool. You know? I mean, like, I don't want her to know what's in that bag. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want her to know, because she don't need to know. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. Just pretend like there's nothing in that bag and you're getting rid of this bag. But just in case, who knows? You know, I could be in a car accident tomorrow, and then guess what? She's got to, you know, put on my clothes away and shit, and she's like, oh, for real? And she knows where I work. She worked at the store too for about 3 months. We didn't work together. We worked at different times, but Are you age shaming? No, I'm just wondering, like, what in 92 made you dye your hair red and black? I just think it's interesting. There we go. Oh, I remember I was talking about the trans track star the other day. The one that's like come in and she's been like dominating. You know what I mean? Like just dominating shit. And she's transitioning from male to female. And she joined. What I didn't like about this is the fact that they threw other people off the team. Like she had not been through the camps. I think part of being a team is the team building. Like that's just how it is. It's the bond. It's the let me get your number. And number's 92. But like he was like, are you single? Like you're 92. Like good for you if it's still working at that point. Like you know what I mean? You're like there's a heartbeat there. Like cool. I used to always give people props when they would come to the store and they were like old. I'm like, damn, that thing still works. Okay, cool. Like it's still alive at that point. Like it's not just there for show. That's cool. But so yeah, so I said I guess Trump came out with a statement. I said some of this is just stuff I hear online, so take it with a grain of salt, like all that stuff. I was emo like you, but I don't consider myself emo. So you consider yourself emo now, or you used to be emo when you were younger? Like I said, I'm just asking. I'm curious why somebody that's 92 dyes their hair red and black. I mean, I'm 45 and I don't dye my hair red and black, you know what I mean? But like, why did you start doing it at 92, or was it before that? Like, was it when you were younger that you started? Like I said, I believe that 100%. Not everything. Like, my mom thought it was a phase. It wasn't a phase. It wasn't a phase. But so, I guess it got back to, Trump, that this was happening. And I said, it was just, so I don't like the fact that they threw one of the girls that had been through the whole training, was on the team, she'd been on the team for years. They threw her off right before the season started to make room for this transfer student. And I don't think that was right. But like I said, I've said this before on here. I really think that even just having a women's league is almost in a way misogynistic. It shouldn't be about who's the best female, who's the best male, who's the best it should be about who's the best at the sport. So I think as females, if we want to be considered equal, then we need to stop doing female and male leagues. That's my opinion, but that's just me. Like, I'm sure that, but like, if we want to prove that we can do everything that men can do and we want to be seen as equal, then we should be, you know what I'm saying? I play on a pool league with guys. There's a couple girls on my team, but it's mostly guys. You know what I mean? But like, if there's not, I don't know. I just don't like. I will only do like co-ed leagues. But if they just did that, you wouldn't have to worry about if somebody was trans. This person had come out and said they're trans, which is how people have known. But what if she had just not said anything at all? You're 45. I thought you were 92 like me, right? Here we go. So yeah, Trump actually threatened because, like I said, this person's been dominating the sport, and people are getting really upset about it, like really, really upset about it. And he threatened California. He said if they don't take this person, and like I said, this is a secondhand thing, so take it with a grain of salt. But so he threatened to cut California's federal funding if they didn't remove this, because he feels like it's an unfair, like, and I get it, people have they say men are genetically more inclined to, like, typically men are taller, but that doesn't mean that there are not tall women. Women tend to be a little bit shorter, they have, like different, but they're saying that there's things that men are genetically, like biologically, gonna be better at, like building muscle mass. Like there's certain things that men will be able to, so somebody that is trans, and then they're worried about, well, what if somebody really isn't trans? They're just a guy who's trying to be number one in the women's league. Because that, a lot of times those come with prizes, they come with sponsorships, they come with endorsements. Like, what's to stop somebody from putting on a wig and just saying, hey, you know what I mean? So I get where there's like a gray area there, and I get why people have like They're like, well, how does this work? You know what I mean? Like, I do, I get it. I really think that's the only way. Mike Tyson to Jake Paul shit, man. I could not believe. I'm sorry, Mike Tyson took a dive, man. Mike Tyson took a dive with that. There is no way. I don't give a fuck how old Mike Tyson is. Jake Paul was like what 24, I think. Mike Tyson's been fighting since before he was alive. There's no way he didn't beat the like he had to be paid to take a dive. Now I can understand you're Tyson, you probably don't need the money, but if it's a substantial amount of money to take a dive, I mean he probably was gonna take a dive. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure he doesn't have as many opportunities to make money as he used to. He probably don't need it. But I mean, for being what, 74, I think? 74? That's how old Tyson was, going against 20. So this dude's got 50 years of boxing experience on you. I don't give a fuck how old he is. Tyson would destroy him in an actual fight. And there's nobody that can convince me that he didn't take a dive on that one. Because, like, I watched it. There's no way. There's no way. And he made like, and then people are like, oh, his age is getting to him. He hasn't been fighting like he used to. Yeah, but you got to remember, he had been training for that. When Tyson was always notoriously known for if he was going to train, he went in. Like, he went in. And before big matches, he would go in. Like they said, he would literally be there from morning to night. Nothing really changed with this one. As soon as he found out about it, he in there every day from morning to night, like doing the. But either way, he's still in fucking great shape. His speed on like a speed bag is still fucking crazy. Like, some things are like riding a bike. Even if he didn't fight for like, say, like the last 5 years, he's been training this whole time. He never stopped. He considered that his workout. He thought it kept him healthy. So it's not like he didn't fight in like 30 years. He's still been doing fights and sparring matches and, you know, like exhibition matches, like stuff like that, like smaller ones. But that's great. Like, there's no way. There's no way. I don't even remember how I got started on this. All right. Oh, I've seen this one too. Oh, this one was so cringy, guys. There's a video going viral right now, and it's of a wedding, right? Oh, God, I felt so bad for this bride. So she gets up there, and they're doing their vows, right? And she's like, I love you. I accept all your goods and all your flaws. I accept everything about you. You are my like, it's like this really, like, I forget what she said specifically, but it had something to do about, like, I love you and I love all your flaws, right? Like, we're all humans, we're all flawed, you know what I mean? Like, that's part of it. And the mom is there. His mom is there. And his mom yells out in the middle of the wedding, don't you tell my son he has flaws. And she's like, what? And she's like, don't you say that my son has flaws. And she's like the bride, I can tell that they probably had like some issues beforehand, because it seemed like she was like, can you stop? This is my wedding. Like, today's supposed to be my day. And she was like, I don't care. You're not going to stand up there and talk bad about my son. And I'm like, she really didn't know. Because she said, like, I love you and I love all your flaws. Like, or I love you even though, you know, you're flawed or whatever. But it was meant to be like a romantic statement. Like, it's something that I've heard people say at weddings before. It's, you know what I mean? Like, and she was like, I love him because he's flawed. He's a human. Like, the chick seemed pretty rational about it. The mom was, but she actually had to be removed from the wedding because she wouldn't stop yelling. And I'm like some parents are very, very toxic. And she definitely, like, I wouldn't talk to her again after that. Like, straight up, if I was their son, I'd be like, nah, you just, not only did you disrespect my wife, who I love, on my wedding day, but it was my wedding day, and you destroyed it because you had an opinion. That's something that you could have talked about. You could have, like, you know what I'm saying? She could have sat and been pissed about that all day, and then been pissed about it. Just shut up. But you interrupt the wedding ceremony and start yelling in the middle of it. And trying to get it into a fight with the bride, like, and people are like, dude, what? Like, you could tell everyone was just kind of like shocked. Like, they're like, the bride and the groom didn't seem too shocked by it. So I said, I feel like there's been issues before. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yeah. She said, my son doesn't have flaws, and the bride goes, he's a human. We all have flaws. And I was like, well, can't argue with that logic because she's right. Like, they're also saying watch out for anybody that comes to your door and says like you're heating their air conditioning guy. There's people that are doing this again too. First time I've seen an actual troll, right, Chris? I've seen a lot of them in my chats. Um, let's see. But yeah, so there's a lot of like fake heating and air conditioning guys that like they've been going around and that's how they're getting into people's houses. So they're just saying if you didn't call somebody, like if you didn't have know you had an issue and physically call somebody, don't open your door to them just because, you know what I mean? Like that's you know how it is. Um there's a video going viral and it's only going viral right now. It happened like a year ago, right? It happened like a year ago, but this woman was in jail. It recently it just went viral because her lawyer released it, right? She got a lawyer and she's suing the jail. She was in jail and she was like 8, almost 9 months pregnant, right? And she went into labor and she was in labor for 6 hours. She called, like, she was calling out to him. Other people were calling saying, hey, she needs help. Da 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 da. Somebody call medical. Like, you know, the prisoners were trying to help her get help. She's in there screaming, telling people her water broke. Like, she's, you know, and they're like, okay, you know. 6 hours later, she gives birth by herself alone in a jail cell. And it's like maybe 10, 15 minutes later, one of the med guys comes in and picks the baby up. But I'm like, so she's in there struggling, trying to get her sweatpants off and those awful prison uniform issued underwear, like the ones that look like men's tidy whities, like, oh. And so, yes, but she gives birth by herself in a prison cell. So, yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, where was everybody for 6 hours? Like, nobody could find their way up. For like, I had a friend that actually worked in the dental department of a prison, and I was like, oof, I bet that's a bad job. Oof, she made good money. But I'm like, you know, just imagine running into people that you know in there. Because she had it happen too. Like I said, I've had it happen just working at the store where I was seeing people, and I'm like, imagine if you went in to go to your job as like a dental hygienist, right? You go in and somebody you know is in there. And you're like, oh shit, I went to high school with them. No, I'm not gonna tell anybody you're here. It's cool, man. It's cool. We just want you to turn around. We want you to you'll be better. You'll be better. It's fine. You know, okay. Okay, question, guys. Here's something. I wrote this one down because a lot of people have been talking about this one too, and this is my very last one. But so what do you guys think about, they're talking about with EBT, right? They're talking about banning junk food on it. I believe either California or Texas already did. But they, I think, and here's my thing is, I think what they're trying to encourage people to do is not spend all their money on shit. Which I kind of get, you know what I mean? Here's the thing, you can buy all the ingredients for any snack food that you want. You can make it. I do think it is, like, I do think it's okay for kids to have treats, everyone. They're like, so what, if my son is not, he's not going to be able to get candy as his treat? Make him some muffins. You know what I mean? Like, that's a treat. Like, if he likes donuts, bake him. Like, I'm a big baker, so I'm like, I feel like people, like, when they go out and they buy all those little tiny packs of, like, Chips Ahoy, I'm like, I mean, you could have made that. Like, you're still able to buy all the ingredients for the snack foods. It's just it's like the crap, like the candy. You can have flaming hot Takis, right? I don't understand how people like Takis. I do not understand how people, but it's specifically what they're going after more is candy. Like, I make taffy all the time, but I'll tell you this much, like, I love it. The taffy I make is fucking fattening as shit. But I'm just saying it's, I don't know. I'm curious to see, like, what happens with it. I get where they're coming from, but I do think it's okay for kids to have treats, too. Can't have M&M's for lunch anymore, right? The mom's spitting it up and just baby birding it into their mouth. I'm gonna mix all of them together. Am I the only one that color coordinates M&M's when they eat them? Is it just like a me thing? I don't know. I go through and I'll dump them out and I'll eat all the brown ones first. I do those with the peanut M&Ms too. I'll eat all the brown ones first because I feel like, you know, they're chocolate and they're brown. So yeah, I'm gonna eat those first, right? Like, that makes sense. And then I'll go for like either orange or green, depending on my mood. And then red's my second last one, and then blue is my last one because I feel like it's the special because it's blue. I don't know. You should see the way I eat gummy bears. Gummy bears, I always have to put them in certain positions. Hey, baby. I have to put them in certain positions as I'm eating them because I think it's funnier and it just makes me giggle, you know? What, you cute? You come home. Here's them. The car is situated. Gotcha. Okay. right, guys, here. I'm going to get ready and jump off. I was going to say, I've been on here for about 2 hours. So we're doing good. We're rocking right along. I appreciate you guys stopping by to see me. I hope everybody. I'll eat the yellow M&M. You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. All right, guys. I love your faces so much. I said they're here trying to get his car all situated and whatnot. My daughter and her boyfriend went down. Not seen you since high 8. What's going on? But so my daughter's boyfriend, they went down to Florida for like a week, and they were getting ready to leave for the airport, and his car broke down in front of my house. They're trying to get it all figured out now. But so, all right, guys, I love your faces so much. I hope everybody has an amazing day. You guys kick a lot of ass. I hope you have a kick-ass day. It's not gonna shut off. No, there it goes.